Good afternoon. Today we will study about a noun. Today's class will start with the definition of a noun, and then we will classify the nouns into 4 criteria. To classify the nouns into 4 criteria, we will ask 2 questions. The answers for the first question are 3. With the second question, the criteria of the nouns. With the first question, 2 criteria of nouns are classified. And with the second question, 2 more criteria of nouns are classified. Let's start to think about a new object. We have an object and all of us don't know what the object is. We will start to discuss about what the object is. So we will start to scrutinize what the object is. So the people in a linguistic group, define what the object is. The people in the linguistic group the object with some definitions. The people in the linguistic group define the object with the definitions. So the people in the linguistic group know what the object is. The people in the linguistic group call an object with a sound, which can be considered as a name. After the people in the linguistic group agree what the object is symbolized with the name becomes a noun. So without the object, the people in the linguistic group think of the object with the noun. So we can say that a noun is made because the noun is a link between a sound and an object. After the language is made, a sound is written as a word. So the object and a noun is linked with an agreement in the linguistic group. The people in the linguistic group remind of what the object is with the noun. The people in the linguistic group can remind of the object without the object, with a noun. We will think of the procedure reversely. So the people made a noun with the object. After the noun is agreed in the linguistic group, people of a foreign object with the definition to indicate the noun. So the procedure of a noun to indicate an object is the identification. There must be many nouns to define many objects. So the people in the linguistic group classify the nouns into 4 criteria. We will ask from the first question. The first question for classifying a noun is, what is means a noun. There can be any nouns. What is happiness? What is worship? What is praying? People in the linguistic group answered to the question with 3 answers. The people in the linguistic group might ask a question with the people in the linguistic group about the foreign object. So there must be a question like, what is this? What is this object? Right? The object is not called with a noun because it is not yet agreed. We will look to the very first procedure of the agreement on a noun. First, there is an object. The people in the linguistic group answer to the question, what is this? What is this object? The first case to answer with the first question is that the people in the linguistic group answer with the question what this object is in their own answers. Like, if every person in the linguistic group think the object differently. But the point is that the object is special. The object has the specific feature. So, the people in the linguistic group, every answer of every person in the linguistic group. The second case is that the people in the linguistic group, the object, with many ways, as the first case does. But the people in the linguistic group agree on each answer which is correct. The first answer to the first question whether the answer is correct or not. The answer is subjective, but it's okay. It is all accepted. But the second answer to the question is different. The people in the linguistic group agree on the numerous answers to the first question, but only the correct answers are agreed to define the object. The third case is that the people in the linguistic group agree on what the object is with some definitions which are correct. So let's start to study from the first case. The first criterion of a noun is an abstract noun. An abstract noun indicates a metaphysical object, which means that the object cannot be perceived with the senses. The object does not have the physical existence. The object without the physical existence is accepted. Every person in the linguistic group in his own way. So each person in the linguistic group has his own definition. The definition of a noun classified as an abstract noun is not agreed upon by the people in a linguistic group. The people in the linguistic group do not agree on the definitions of each person, but accept the distinctive definitions. The characteristics of the abstract noun are defined with two. The first one is that the definition of a noun classified as an abstract noun differs from each person in a linguistic group, which is all accepted. Not agreed, but just accepted as the definition. The second characteristic to define the abstract noun is that the people in a linguistic group define the abstract noun indirectly with an experience, a condition, or an action instead of indicating a physical object, because the object indicated by the abstract noun does not have the physical being. So the people in the linguistic group define the object with their own experience, condition, or action related with the object. The first example of the abstract noun is happiness. If I ask you the question, what is happiness? The answers of us will vary, and each one of us will accept our own definition on the object happiness. So the object indicated by the abstract noun happiness occurred with the to define the abstract noun, because the definition of the abstract noun happiness differs from each person in a linguistic group. If I tell you happiness is gratitude from smelling the well-dried laundry, you will not, or you will agree with my subjective definition toward happiness. So even though you do not agree with my personal definition on happiness, you accept the definition of happiness that is defined by me. So, and if you tell me your own definition on the object happiness, I will accept your own definition on happiness. So the definition of the abstract noun differs from each other in a linguistic group. Each person defines the noun happiness with an experience, a condition, or an action with the physical object. I define the object happiness with my condition of gratitude. The object indicated by the abstract noun happiness, the physical being. Number two, the noun to indicate a sport like soccer, football, baseball, basketball, etc. is classified as an abstract noun because the sport indicates actions, numerous actions consistent with the rules of the sport. So what is football? What is football? I can describe the sport football with some actions like kicking and bouncing balls The actions define the abstract noun, football. The action is metaphysical. The action does not have the physical being. The person who shows the action has the physical being, but the action itself does not have the physical being. So the sport is defined by the actions of a subject, which are metaphysical. Number 2, every action consistent with the rule of the sport defines the abstract noun to indicate the sport. Number 3, the noun breakfast, lunch, or dinner to indicate a meal around a point in time is classified as an abstract noun. The first reason why the nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner are classified as the abstract nouns is that indicated by the nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner metaphysical. Every definition to define the breakfast is accepted as the nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner indicate an affair with actions. We have to move to intake a meal, or every action to consist of the affair is defined breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner indicate the metaphysical object. Number 2, and then the nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner indicate at a specific time, and the specific time is defined by person, is differentiated with the nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because nouns breakfast, lunch, and dinner indicate with the specific time, which can be variable to people in the linguistic group, and the estimated time when a person takes a meal is all accepted as a definition of breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The fourth examples of the abstract noun is the collective noun. The collective noun indicates a feature of a group of objects. So the collective noun indicates the feature which is metaphysical, and each in a linguistic group defines all collective noun, like furniture, with their own definition. A person can define the noun furniture with a chair, a desk, and a stool. The other person can define the noun furniture with a chair, a desk, a stool, and a bed. Each person defines the collective noun furniture with their own definitions, and the distinctive definitions by each person are accepted to define the collective noun furniture. So the collective noun indicates a characteristic which is metaphysical. The characteristic to define the noun furniture is that an object which is applied in the interior design in a house, but the characteristic is metaphysical. Like character is like feature. So the collective noun is classified as an abstract noun. There are the collective noun: stationery, confectionery, furniture, music, flower, etc. to indicate a common characteristic shared by a group of objects is classified as an abstract noun. We studied about the furniture. Let's study about the music. The collective noun music indicates a characteristic shared by objects. So the characteristic is metaphysical. The collective noun music is defined by each person in a linguistic group. Definitions by people are accepted to define the collective noun music. A person can define the collective noun music with classic, R&B, hip-hop, and EDM. The other person can define the collective music with classic, EDM. Both definitions about music are accepted. For the second example, the collective noun music indicates the metaphysical object, and each listener defines the noun music with certain kinds of genre consistent with their own taste. The definition toward the noun music is all accepted by the linguistic group. So the music is defined as an abstract noun. The collective noun to indicate a characteristic of a group of objects, like an organ of a plant to make a fruit, is metaphysical. And then people in the linguistic group define what the flower is with their own definitions. Like a person can define flower is with a rose or lily, and the other person can define the noun flower with a rose, a lily, and a dandelion. Each definition on the noun flower is accepted, but the same noun flower to indicate an object which is visible is not defined as an abstract noun. The fifth example of an abstract noun is time. The noun time indicates the metaphysical existence, which is the premise of the condition of every object. And then the person's perception to define the noun time about the time without the manual division by the unit of time. like a year, a month, or an hour is deviated in each person in a linguistic group toward a period of time can be deviated. This can be seen in the classroom. A student in a classroom perceives a period as 10 minutes, but the other student can perceive the same period with the first student as an hour, with the premise that they didn't watch the clock. So the personal definition toward time without any units is deviated. So the people in the linguistic groups sets the unit to discern a specific period of time with a second, a minute, an hour, a week, a month, and a year. The noun blue, green, red, or etc. to indicate the color is classified as an abstract noun because the color is a condition of a subject. The condition is metaphysical. The condition of a subject is about how a subject is. And then the range to define color is deviated in each person in a linguistic group. The color blue can be defined on a spectrum of color. A person can define the starting point of blue from this point, this. But the other person can define the color blue with the starting point of this and the ending point of this. So the range of color to define the same color can be deviated by each person. Each definition accepted as the noun. So the nouns to indicate color are classified as abstract nouns. The noun color is also classified as an abstract noun, especially a collective noun, because the color indicates the condition, which is a characteristic of a group of. The noun color is defined with different color. Like a person can define what the color is with red, blue. Compared to the first one, the second person can define the noun color with red, blue, green, yellow, and orange. The definition toward the word color can be deviated and also be accepted as the noun color. So the noun color is classified as a collective noun, also as an abstract noun. The second classification of a noun is a proper noun. A proper noun is defined by an identity. The identity is defined with both a physical object and a metaphysical object. A metaphysical object can be defined with an experience, a condition, or an action. Second, the definition of a noun classified as a proper noun is all correct and agreed in a linguistic group. Compared to the abstract noun, the definition of the proper noun has different features. The first one is that the proper noun is defined with the physical object compared to the abstract noun. The second feature of the proper noun is that the definition to define what the noun is correct. So each person in a linguistic group and the correct definitions to define the proper noun. The definition of the abstract noun is accepted regardless of whether the definition is correct or not. But the definition of the proper noun is all correct and all agreed in the linguistic group. The first example of a proper noun is the noun soul. The noun soul is defined as a proper noun because of two reasons. The first reason is that the noun soul is defined with the territory, the citizens, the compartment in the air of the nation, the mayor, and even with the trivial characteristics such as the number of ants. People in a linguistic group define the noun soul with physical and metaphysical objects. In this way, the people in a linguistic group can list the definition of the noun soul limitlessly because the noun soul can be defined with the trivial characteristic. Then, the whole definition of the noun to define soul, which is able to be enlisted limitlessly, is the identity of the noun soul. The identity is applied only to any other object is not accorded to the limitless definition of the noun soul. The limitless definitions of the noun soul, the identity to define the noun soul. The proper noun is defined with the identity, which is accorded only to the object. So, in a written language, in a written form of the language, the proper noun is signified with uppercase letter. The first uppercase letter of the proper noun signifies that this noun has to be interpreted with the identity. Second examples of the proper noun are the nouns Christian, Korean, and American, and etc. The nouns Christian, Korean, and American, and etc. are defined as proper nouns. The nouns Christian, Korean, and American indicate a group of people who share the same language. The language is metaphysical, and the people who share the same language are physical. What the nouns Christian, Korean, and American, and other linguistic group are is defined with the spirit, the culture, and can be listed limitlessly. So the nouns to indicate are defined as proper nouns. Let's compare the general noun city and the proper noun Seoul. Can be indicated by the other noun city. So, what is the difference between the noun city and Seoul? The proper noun Seoul is defined with limitless definitions. And the limitless definitions are the identity of Seoul. Compared to the proper noun Seoul, the general noun city is defined with some definitions, like limited numbers of definitions. The limited numbers of definitions with the noun city are accorded with many other cities as well, like Tokyo, Paris, New York City. So the proper noun Seoul indicates the definite object with the identity, but the general noun with the limited numbers of features indicate objects that share the limited numbers of definitions. So the same object can be indicated by the proper noun Seoul more specifically with the identity, and can be indicated by the general noun city roughly with the necessity.